A sea change this, brown eyes salt blue. Sea death, mildest of all deaths known to man. Old Father Ocean, Prix de Paris, beware of imitations. Just you give it a fair trial. We enjoyed ourselves immensely. Come, I thirst. Clouding over. No black clouds anywhere, are there? Thunderstorm. All bright he falls. Proud lightning of the intellect. Lucifer. Dico. Qui nescit ocassum. No. My cockle hat and staff and him hiss me sandal shoon. Where? To evening lands. Evening will find itself. He took the hilt of his ash plant, lunging with it softly, dallying still. Yes, evening will find itself in me, without me. All days make their end. By the way, when is it? Tuesday will be the longest day. Of all the glad new year, mother, the rum-tum tiddly-tum. Lon Tennyson, gentleman poet. Gia, Gia, for the old hag with the yellow teeth, and Monsieur Drummond, gentleman journalist. Gia. My teeth are very bad. Why, I wonder? Feel. That one is going too. Shells. Ought I go to a dentist, I wonder, with that money? That one. Toothless Kinch, the Superman. Why is that, I wonder? Or does it mean something, perhaps? My handkerchief. He threw it. I remember. Did I not take it up? His hand groped vainly in his pockets. No, I didn't. Better buy one. He laid the dry snot picked from his nostril on a ledge of rock carefully. For the rest, let look who will. Behind, perhaps there is someone. He turned his face over a shoulder, rear regardant. Moving through the air, high spars of a three-master, her sails brailed up on the cross trees, homing upstream, silently moving, a silent ship. This is part 2 now. Mr. Leopold Bloom ate with relish the inner organs of beasts and fowls. He liked thick giblet soup, nutty gizzards, a stuffed roast heart, liver slices fried with crust crumbs, fried hen cods rose. Most of all, he liked grilled mutton kidneys, which gave to his palate a fine tang of faintly scented urine. Kidneys were in his mind as he moved about the kitchen softly, writing her breakfast things on the humpy tray. Gelid, light, and air were in the kitchen, but out of doors, gentle summer morning everywhere made him feel a bit peckish. The coals were reddening. Another slice of bread and butter. 3, 4, right. She didn't like her plate full. Right. He turned from the tray, lifted the kettle off the hob, and set it sideways on the fire. It sat there, dull and squat. Its spout stuck out. Cup of tea soon. Good. Mouth dry. The cat walked stiffly round a leg of the table, with tail on high. Now. Oh, there you are, Mr. Bloom said, turning from the fire. The cat mewed in answer and stalked again stiffly round the leg of the table, meowing. Just how she stalks over my writing table. Purr. Scratch my head. Purr. Mr. Bloom watched curiously, kindly, the lithe black form. Clean to see, the gloss of her sleek hide, the white button under the butt of her tail, the green flashing eyes. He bent down to her, his hands on his knees. Milk for the pussins, he said. Mirk now, the cat cried. They called them stupid. They understand what we say better than we understand them. She understands all she wants to. Vindictive, too. Wonder what I look like to her. Height of a tower? No, she can jump me. Afraid of the chickens, she is, he said mockingly. Afraid of the chook-chooks. I never saw such a stupid pussins as the pussins. Cruel, her nature. Curious mice never squeal. Seem to like it. Mr. Knau, the cat said loudly. Merker now. I don't know what that word is. She blinked up out of her avid, shame-closing eyes, meowing plaintively and long, showing him her milk-white teeth. He watched the dark eye slits, narrowing with green till her eyes were green stones. Then he went to the dresser, took the jug Hanlon's milkman had just filled for him, poured warm bubbled milk on a saucer, and set it slowly on the floor. Grr, she cried, running to lap. He watched the bristles shining wirily in the weak light as she tipped 3 times and licked lightly. Wonder, is it true if you clip them they can't mouse after? Why? They shine in the dark, perhaps, the tips. Or kind of feelers in the dark, perhaps. He listened to her licking lap. Ham and eggs? No. No good eggs with this drought. Want pure fresh water. Thursday. Not a good day either for a mutton kidney at Buckley's. While the kettle is boiling. She lapped slower, then licking the saucer clean. Why are their tongues so rough? To lap better, all porous holes. Nothing she can eat? He glanced around him. Nope. On quietly creaky boots, he went up the staircase to the hall, paused by the bedroom door. She might like something tasty. Thin bread and butter she likes in the morning. Still, perhaps, once in a way. He said softly in the bare hall, I am going round the corner. Be back in a minute. And when he had heard his voice say it, he added, You don't want anything for breakfast? A sleepy, soft grunt answered. No, she did not want anything. He heard then a warm, heavy sigh, softer, as she turned over, and the loose brass quoits of the bedstead jingled. Must get those settled, really. Pity. All the way from Gibraltar. Forgotten any little Spanish she knew. Wonder what her father gave for it. Old style. Ah, yes, of course. It bought it at the governor's auction. Got a short knock. Hard as nails, at a bargain. Old Tweedy? Yes, sir. At Plevna that was. I rose from the ranks, sir, and I'm proud of it. Still, he had brains enough to make that corner in stamps. Now that was far-seeing. His hand took his hat from the peg over his initialed heavy overcoat and his lost property office second-hand waterproof. Stamps. Sticky back pictures. Dare say lots of officers are in the swim, too. Course they do. The sweated legend in the crown of his hat told him mutely. Plasto's high grade. Ha. He peeped quickly inside the leather headband. White slip of paper. Quite safe. On the doorstep, he felt in his hip pocket for the latch key. Not there. In the trousers I left off, must get it. Potato I have. Creaky wardrobe. No use disturbing her. She turned over sleepily that time. He pulled the hall door to after him very quietly. More, till the footleaf dropped gently over the threshold. A limp lid. Looked shut. All right till I come back, anyhow. Hold on. He crossed to the bright side, avoiding the loose cellar flap of number 75. The sun was nearing the steeple of George's church. Be a warm day, I fancy. Especially in these black clothes, feel it more. Black conducts, refracts, is it? The heat. But I couldn't go in that light suit. Make a picnic of it. His eyelids sank quietly, often as he walked in happy warmth. Boland's bread van delivering with trays our daily, but she prefers yesterday's loaves, turnovers, crisps, crowns hot. Makes you feel young. Somewhere in the east, early morning, set off at dawn, travel round in front of the sun, steal a day's march on it. Keep it up forever, never grow a day older technically. Walk along a strand, strange lands, come to a city gate. Sentry there, old ranker too. Old Tweedy's big mustaches leaning on a long kind of a spear. Wander through awned streets. Turbaned faces going by. Dark caves of carpet shelves. Big man, Turco the Terrible, seated, cross-legged, smoking a coiled pipe. Cries of sellers in the streets. Drink water scented with fennel. Sherbet. Wander along all day. Might meet a robber or two. Well, meet him. Getting on to sundown. The shadows of the mosques along the pillars. Priest with the scroll rolled up. A shiver of the trees. Signal. The evening wind. I pass on. Fading gold sky. A mother watches from her doorway. She calls her children home in their dark language. High wall, beyond strings twanged. Night sky moon, violet color of Molly's new garters. Strings. Listen, a girl playing one of those instruments, what do you call them? Dulcimers. I pass. Probably not a bit like it, really. Kind of stuff you read. In the track of the sun. Sunburst on the title page. He smiled, pleasing himself. What Arthur Griffith said about the headpiece over the Freeman leader, a home rule sun rising up in the northwest from the laneway behind the Bank of Ireland. He prolonged his pleased smile. Ike touched that home rule sun rising up in the northwest. He approached Larry O'Rourke's. From the cellar grating floated up the flabby gush of porter. Through the open doorway the bar squirted out whiffs of ginger, tea dust, biscuit mush. Good house, however, just the end of the city traffic. For instance, Molly's down there. NG as position. Of course, if they ran a tram line along the North Circular from the cattle market to the quays, value would go up like a shot. Bald head over the blinds. Cute old codger. No use canvassing him for an ad. Still, he knows his own business best. There he is, sure enough, my bold Larry, leaning against the sugar bin in his shirt sleeves, watching the aproned curate swab up with mop and bucket. Simon Daedalus takes him off to a tee with his eyes screwed up. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? What's that, Mr. O'Rourke? Do you know what? The Russians. They'd only be an 8 o'clock breakfast for the Japanese. Stop and say a word about the funeral, perhaps. Sad thing about poor Dingham, Mr. O'Rourke. Turning into Dorset Street, he said freshly in greeting through the doorway, "Good day, Mr. O'Rourke. Good day to you. Lovely weather, sir. 'Tis all that. Where did they get the money?" Coming up red-headed curates from the country Leitrim, rinsing empties an old man in the cellar. Then, lo and behold, they blossom out as Adam Findlaters or Dan Talons. Then, think of the competition. General thirst. Good puzzle would be cross Dublin without passing a pub. Save it they can. Off the drunks, perhaps. Put down 3 and carry 5. What is that? A bob here and there? Dribs and drabs? On the wholesale order, perhaps? Doing a double shuffle with the town travelers. Square it with the boss and we'll split the job, see? How much would that tot to off the porter in the month? Say 10 barrels of stuff. Wonder if I could, Say he got 10% off. Oh, more. 10, 15. He passed St. Joseph's National School. Brats clamor. Windows open. Fresh air helps memory. Or a lilt. Abizi Difiji Kelomen Opiku Rustuvi W. Boys, are they? I think it's the alphabet. A, B, C, D, F, G, K, L, O, M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Boys, are they? Yes. Inish Turk, Inish Shark, Inish Buffin. At their jogger fry mind. Sleeve bloom. He halted before Duclach's window, staring at the hanks of sausages, Polonese, black and white. 50 multiplied by. The figures whitened in his mind unsolved. Displeased, he let them fade. The shiny links, packed with force meat, fed his gaze, and he breathed in tranquilly the lukewarm breath of cooked, spicy pig's blood. A kidney oozed blood gouts on the willow-patterned dish, the last. He stood by the next-door girl at the counter. Would she buy it too, calling the items from a slip in her hand? Chapped washing soda, and 1.5 pounds of Denny's sausages. His eyes rested on her vigorous hips. Woods, his name is. Wonder what he does. Wife is oldish. New blood. New followers allowed. No followers allowed. Strong pair of arms. Whacking a carpet on the clothesline. She does whack it, by George. The way her crooked skirt swings at each whack. The fairy-tayed pork butcher folded the sausages he had snipped off with blotchy fingers, sausage pink. Sound meat there like a stall-fed heifer. He took up a page from the pile of cut sheets. The model farm at Kinnereth on the lake shore of Tiberias can become ideal winter sanatorium. Moses Montefiore. I thought he was. Farmhouse, wall round it, blurred cattle cropping. He held the page from him. Interesting. Read it nearer, the title, the blurred cropping cattle, the page rustling, a young white heifer. Those mornings in the cattle market, the beasts lowing in their pens, braided sheep, flop and fall of dung, the breeders in hobnailed boots, trudging through the litter, slapping a palm on the right-meated hindquarter. There's a prime one, unpeeled switches in their hands. He held the pays aslant patiently, bending his senses and his will, his soft subject gaze at rest. The crooked skirt swinging whack by whack by whack. The pork butcher snapped 2 sheets from the pile, wrapped up her prime sausages, and made a red grimace. Now, my miss, he said. She tendered a coin, smiling boldly, holding her thick wrist out. Thank you, my miss, and 1 shilling 3 pence change. For you, please? Mr. Bloom pointed quickly, to catch up and walk behind her if she went slowly, behind her moving hands. Pleasant to see first thing in the morning. Hurry up, damn it! Make hay while the sun shines. She stood outside the shop in sunlight and sauntered lazily to the right. He sighed down his nose. They never understand. So do chapped hands, or chaped. Crusted toenails, too. Brown scapulars in tatters, defending her both ways. The sting of disregard glowed to weak pleasure within his breast. For another, the constable off duty called her in Eccles Lane. They like them sizable. Prime sausage. Oh, please, Mr. Policeman, I'm lost in the wood. 3 pence, please.